Yo, what's good? It's Chosen SC, and I'm back with another video. And for this video, I just want to talk about pain, the beauty of pain, and the blessings of pain. Pain is the unconventional gift of life. Pain is often looked down upon within all areas of our life because of the effect that it has on us. But what about the transformation that it allows us to go through? We gotta really just embrace all aspects of our life, all aspects of the spectrum of duality and non-duality. Pain is a very beautiful thing, and pain is the catalyst for love. Pain is the catalyst for growth, and pain is the catalyst for transformation. And we gotta value it and stop giving it such a negative connotation when it could be heart-wrenching. It could be heart-wrenching. It can be tough. It can be very painful, but it's also very beautiful in who you will become, in the outcome, and also in the transformation that you are receiving within the now. We have been taught to look down upon pain and being hurt, and when I say being hurt, not being hurt by other people, but being hurt by ourselves, because in the end, everyone is a reflection of us, and they will only mirror how we feel internally, which is ultimately leading to our own self-inflicted pain, which allows people to express it towards us in this external world. Everything stems from us. Everything is a reflection of who we are and the conflicts within ourselves. So I can never blame it, and we should never blame it on another person for hurting us when we have just hurt ourselves in the end. And I find pain to be quite beautiful, because after pain, you come out a whole different person. Some people can allow the pain to suffocate them and transmute it into a hurtful version of ourselves, but some people can stay pure through it all. Pain is not a breaker of love. It is the initiator of love. It is the ushering in of the more divine love. It is the expansion of love. When we create connections with love and pain, we often think that pain is set to bring down love, when pain is set to break down all false illusions of what love truly is, to break down the illusions, the deceptions, and truly just live in your truth, to live in the truth of love. Pain doesn't come from a lack of love. Pain comes from love wanting to be expressed in its fullness. And this is quite beautiful, and it's really divine. We got to stop thinking that pain is such a hard thing, or that pain is such a bad thing, when after every experience that you have went through, you have always came out a better version of yourself. There has never been a moment where you have thought to go and do things that wouldn't resonate with your soul. Do it all, you stay true to yourself. Do it all, you valued your pure heart. Do it all, you just love yourself, and that is something that you gotta be proud of yourself for. You gotta really be proud of yourself for it. And I say that pain is the unconventional gift of life, because it truly is a gift. It is a blessing to be able to go through pain, because if we never went through pain, we will only just be able to experience a one-sided way of living. You wouldn't be able to get the full experience of life. When you go through those heart-wrenching events within your life where your heart is pounding and you feel like it's breaking, it's really expanding. And that's the uncomfortability of your heart expanding. It comes at a cost of physical expressions of pain, but it necessarily isn't bad. It's the expansion of who you are. And this is something that you got to value. And you got to value this because it is ultimately leading to the highest version of yourself. Pain was never a negator. It was something for you to expand yourself. It was something for you to look at and just appreciate, because it has led you to who you are today. In every experience, you just got to take with a grain of salt, understanding that it is just an experience. It's not necessarily good or bad, but we label these things as good or bad because of the pain associated with it, because of what we would call good experiences that are associated with it. The emotions that we feel, we resonate with it, and we claim it to be good or bad when it's just an experience. And you got to flow with every experience, just like you got to flow with pain. The process of healing through pain, the process of loving through pain, it can be very distasteful. It can be very distasteful, because This is something that causes you to just look at all aspects of yourself and seeing the ways that you contributed to your own pain, seeing the ways that you perpetuated your own suffering and you built a home in your suffering and you stayed in that home all day without seeing what was truly on the outside, which was the beauty of life, which was the love of life, which was the divinity of life. You know, sometimes we can become so accustomed to the life that we're living, not even knowing that we're sitting in the root of our own suffering, and we are perpetuating our own suffering. When we constantly go through the same situations over and over, and we don't reflect on what's actually happening within our life, we are creating habitual cycles that we will go through, and karmic cycles that we will go through until we clear that chain. You know, you got to clear that chain. You got to clear that karmic bond that you have with these certain cycles within your life, because it is never going to fuel any purpose for you. It is never going to fuel anything within your life, but it will take away some very meaningful things that you have within yourself, the aspects of yourself where you can express yourself to other people. And pain is not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but I would say pain is a blessing, because we are so blessed to be able to just live, to just breathe, to just be able to live our life and to be who we are. So why not be able to take in the full experience of life, whether it be pain, whether it be love, whether it be whatever. You know, we got to take it in for what it truly is. We can't just disassociate with one side of ourselves. We can't disassociate with one emotion or one feeling, because as human beings, we came here to feel, we came here to connect with our emotions on the deepest level possible. We came here to explore, we came here to create, we came here to remember who we were and remember our divinity. And pain is a catalyst for remembering our divinity. Pain is something that you will call unconventional because it isn't looked at as something that's traditional. You know, it isn't something that goes along with what modern day people associate as something good. You know, people often undermine the effects of pain because pain can be so detrimental in terms of a negative connotation, but it can also be so much more transform, transformative than you can even imagine. It could be even more transformative than you can even imagine, because it allows you to see things in a different perspective, to see things in a way where you aren't looking for someone to heal you. You aren't looking for someone to patch you up. You're patching yourself up. And you're not patching yourself up because you have been broken, but just because you have to protect yourself. Because you have to just allow yourself to heal and heal from the experiences that you have chosen for yourself. And when I say the experiences that you have chosen for yourself, I mean it exactly as it is, because you have chosen to go through every event within your life, every experience, and you already wrote it for yourself. I said in my last video that you are the greatest author ever created, and you are living out your own book. And that is exactly what you are doing. You are living out your book, and there's a chapter that has pain. You know, there's always chapters that has pain. There's always chapters that have creativity, that has purpose, but everything is always revolved in love. Love is the table of continents. Love is the table of continents within your book, and it's always connected to it. It's always connected to the base foundation of who you are, which is love. Pain doesn't come from a lack of love. I feel like pain is one of the most purest expressions of love, because it allows you to truly just embrace life for what it truly is, not seeing into anything that you want to see, but seeing it for exactly what it is. Pain forces you to just see your life and see the ways that other people have contributed to you, and the ways that you have been influenced by life, the ways that you have took on external ideas and made it your internal. You know, the ways that you have observed life, and overall just your commitment to yourself. Pain isn't necessarily a bad thing. You gotta get rid of that stigma, because pain can be the most transformative thing within your life, but it's only if you allow it to. Your perspective means so much, because your perspective on pain is what you will experience through these seasons of pain within your life. And I'm not saying that pain is going to be such a good thing. You know, it's a good thing that you should just love and you should take it. Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you just got to appreciate the beauty within it all. You know, don't just side with one side of the spectrum. Don't just side with one side and just see it for what it really is. You got to get out of that mindset of choosing sides and just seeing it from a higher perspective. Not being in such a lowly mindset or a lowly perspective where you feel like you have to choose and just seeing above it all, seeing through it all, seeing through the illusions that were made to keep us in a cycle of our own pain without realizing, and keeping us in a cycle of living a life that was not truly for us. In the end, it's all about love, and everything that we have will always revert back to love, because love is the purest essence of life. Love is creation of life, and we just gotta value love for what it is. Pain is a beautiful thing, and yes, pain can also be a hurtful thing. To heal from heartbreaks, to heal from abandonment issues, to heal from everything that you have went through within your life, your traumas, your pains. It's just gonna be a hard thing, but as long as you stay with yourself and keep loving yourself through it all, you'll always be good. Pain is the unconventional gift of life. And I just want to say that if you're seeing this video, I truly do love you, and you gotta value yourself. You gotta value your pain and take it all in. You gotta really just sit with yourself and accept all versions of yourself to have experienced pain, and hold grace for yourself, because it is very important that you love yourself through it all, that you stay with yourself through it all, and that you value yourself. So if you're seeing this video, I just want to say I love you. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and thank you. Peace.